Hi everybody, Andrea Devane here. I'm going to do my first actual makeup video. I've never done one of these before. But this time I'm not transforming into the usual Andrea Devane that you're used to seeing. I'm actually doing Halloween makeup this time. And what I'm planning on doing for this Halloween is a zombie prom queen. So actually I'm going to be using some makeup that I got from the Spirit Halloween shop so that I could do a good zombie, or do a zombie look. What you're used to seeing when it comes to Andrea Devane is this. And this is not what the finished product is going to be anything like this time. I'm not going to be the gothic hard rock queen that you're used to, but I will be doing some new stuff. This is something I've never tried before, so this is going to kind of be interesting because as I'm doing this, I'm going to be learning myself. So there will be times that I will actually pause this video because I'm going to need to take the time to be able to finish some of the pieces that I'm doing, and I don't have the correct type of editing software that I can do to kind of do time lapse and fast forward things through like I've seen on some videos. But the first thing I started with the whole look was I spent about a week doing my nails. These nails, what I did was I put first a thick gel black underneath on the nails, and then turned around and let them dry for a day. Then the next day, I turned around, went back, and took a thin knot gel formula, purple, and gave it 2 coats, just enough to cover, but not enough to really, pop it out, and let that dry for a day. And then I distressed them, and if you look real close, you can see, as I distressed them, some of the black is showing through the purple kind of randomly, almost like a marble effect. And I just took the emery board, a couple of different emery boards and nail file buffers, and distressed them out enough to actually make them to where they would show through. Now, this morning I went and I shaved off my eyebrows, because I'm not, most queens, they're like, oh yeah, you can just glue them down and brush them up, and I find that to be just too much work, and I don't think it looks right, because with my eyebrows as thick as they are, I look like I got this big puffy piece up here, and it just doesn't work for my look. So I went ahead and I shaved off, made sure I was nice and clean shaven on the face, and shaved off my chest hair, because some of my outfit, I'm going to be having spots on my chest that will be showing. So I'm going to have to, I had to make sure that was shaved as well. Now, what I'm starting off with, like I said, I got this from Spirit Halloween. It is a deluxe zombie makeup kit, and it has pretty much everything I need. The makeup colors, the dripping blood to make scars with, the appliques so that I can have some wounds on my face, the spirit gum and spirit gum remover to be able to use it with. It also comes with a brush, which I may or may not use, I'm not sure here yet. And it comes with regular makeup wedges, which I actually have more, since I'm not going to be using just one color. I'm going to be using several colors, so I bought more. A pack of these are like $2 at Walmart. So I'm going to be using those as well. And a really coarse sponge, very porous, so that I can actually do some of the stippling around with the other colors to really make the effect, that I'm actually dead. Now, the next thing that I did was I took and I washed my face with a good cleansing scrub. to get rid of the dirt and the oil that would be on my face. Now, I used Clinique's men's formula because that's what I normally use. I have a man's face, so yeah, I'm going to use one that's when I can afford it, because Clinique is not cheap. I can use that, but I've had some that was given to me by my ex-sister-in-law, who's also still a very close friend of mine, and when she was working at the Clinique counter, and I used that to do it. Also, another thing you can do, if you don't have that kind of money to afford the Clinique stuff, there is some that you can get from Walmart that's made by their brand, the Equal brand, that is it's apricot facial scrub. It works just as well. Okay, so now that I have the face cleaned and I've given it some time to dry after patting it dry, to make sure I got all the oils out of my face, I'm going to go ahead with just plain alcohol, and I'm going to go all over my face just to make sure I've got all the oils out of my face. Being very careful not to get in the eye, because yes, that will burn badly if you do that. Now, the areas that you just shaved, like my eyebrows right now, they're stinging a little bit. That's fine, as long as they don't really burn badly. My problem area is right along the sides of my nose and on my forehead. They're my main areas where I have problems with oils. But I go over the whole entire face just to make sure I've got all the oils off of my face. And also going down anywhere where I'm going to be applying the makeup, which is like behind the ears, on the ears, because when you're dead, you got to make that, you got to really look the part. So just on the outsides of my ears, not on the inside. Of course, I'm going to be using makeup on my actual shoulders and my chest. So I want to make sure that's free and clear of any oils as well. Alright, yeah. So, and that's after actually washing. You can still have remnants left behind from washing your face. That's why I do that, as to get all the excess oils and things off, before I start with with actually doing my makeup. And I do that as well when I'm actually doing regular drag, because I want to make sure that when I set my makeup and put my foundations on, it's all going to be, on a nice, fresh, clean, oil-free palette for me to work with. Okay. I'm just making sure that all of it is now dry before I start applying the makeup and everything. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the appliques, because I need to blend those in with the actual makeup. Oh, they make the glue on these things a little harder every year, I think. Either that or it's just my age. Alright, so now let me get just opening my zombie kit here so I can do this. Any of the sounds you're hearing in the background, possibly, I don't know how well this microphone is picking that kind of stuff up. Right now I've got Halloween Town, one of the Halloween Town movies playing on the background from the Disney Channel, just to have some background noise. Oh. Alright. Come on. Alright. There's the actual palette. It's my application. See, they're really, really thin, so that they're able to really adhere to the skin, so you can blend them in easily. I'm going to need the Spirit gum for those. put the Spirit Gum Cleanser aside because I'm not going to need that until I'm done for the evening. Alright. So we got that. And I got my sponges out. My Spirit Gum here. And I'm going to pause here because I need to get some cotton swabs so I can actually adhese or put the Spirit Gum where I need it to be, since it doesn't actually have a brush. Okay, so just one moment and we will return to our video. Okay, so that was only a couple of seconds that it took me to do, but to you it was just instantaneous, of course, since I just paused it. Now, since this is in a little tube, or a little, like those VO5 hot oil treatment things, because it's only meant for a single application. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and first of all figure out where I want to place the actual applique on my face. Now, I kind of like the look that they have on here on the card here. You can see that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the holes up on the top and the bite mark down on the side, just like on there. So I'm doing this over top of the actual applique. I've got that sitting under the cotton swab because you need to make sure that you put the Spirit Gum on both the place where you're putting it on your face and the applique itself. So if any of it drips, it's not going to drip on my makeup station here. It's going to drip on the actual applique itself. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right up here on the spot where I'm going to put the applique. And I'm going to also rub it on the applique itself. So I have it on the entire thing here. A little more on the forehead here.
Remind me again why I don't like to use magic.
Alright. Next step is to put the applique where I actually want it.
I thought after this afternoon they all would have gone back to Halloween Town. No. Some of them are just stubborn as you are.
I'm going to hold it on there for about a minute. I'm going to tamp it down there with my fingers.
Grandma, it wasn't yours to beg in the first place. And then they offered that as giving. Hey, you guys would have had the sense to go home.
Yeah, I tried, but my dad never abandoned me.
Okay.
We were there.
So that one's on. Now I'm going to do the other one. I'll figure out where I want placement on that from first here real quick.
If you don't start talking to me, we're definitely going to lose our magic. What am I supposed to do? Everyone suddenly looks suspicious to me.
Okay. So now that I know where I want to put it, I'll start adding my Spirit Gum again.
pulling open and snapping closed off things. I guess I'll just have to replace it. Oh, can I help you?
And on my applique itself, kind of spread it around. And then
It was such a shock. I'm just so used to you looking all cute and, well, you know,
Here's a newsflash for you. I don't think I look better this way.
what?
I'm all pale and hairless. It's gross.
Well, you're normally a big pink puffball.
I know. People got whole big eyes.
kind of
I'm a junior miss.
Wait, then you
set that down for my bite mark.
One of the ugliest creatures I've ever laid my eyes on. But I thought you were sweet and nice. That's all that matters.
Right. Now that this is starting to dry, I'm going to grab another swab because I want to clean up the extra spirit gum from around the edges. So I just want to dip a little alcohol on that and roll off the excess.
Not that anybody was in here except for us. I don't get it. What's the matter? It's good that nobody got in here, right? I guess, but
Take it around the edges here.
I mean, we were dealing with somebody from Halloween Town. They wouldn't have had to smash their way in. So maybe we really are dealing with somebody from this world. I just talked to Grandma. Wait, what do you want me to do? Just stay here.
So I don't want any of the extra, because the extra is really tacky to the touch, so it could possibly interfere with the makeup. And now I'm going to take the dry side of the swab, and I'm going to tamper down the edges a little better here.
What's this called again?
basketball.
Oh, basketball. Alright, let's go. Just hit it, boys. Hit it. Grandma. I'm a difficult. As if any of this is my fault.
Kind of rolling down.
I'm guessing the only reason they even know we're here is because you can't go 2 seconds without turning someone into a lamppost. One time, I don't think a little harmless magic told them the location of our clubhouse. But there's one thing I can do. It's keep a secret. Oh, and what is that supposed to mean? I mean, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but maybe you just said a little something to your little friend. Oh, my little friend? You know what? Now that you mention it, the other day in homeroom, I was like, hey, Cody, guess what?
Okay.
This is our clubhouse. And I just said, it's a little town.
Alright, I'm going to do the same with the other one.
First of all, he shows up at the Scudo on the same day, and then he comes to our house, and then the mall. Wait, you think it's odd that he likes me? Well, I didn't say that. We have to be open to the possibilities. There's no possibility. You know why? Because I'm done talking to you. Good. Because I'm through listening. Fine. Here. Come here, Grandma, come here.
Okay. So, got that. So I have my appliques on. Now that my appliques are actually in place, I want to let them dry for a minute. So here's where I'm going to pause the video again while I give them some time to dry. Okay, now that I've given that some chance to dry, what I'm doing next is I actually have a zombie latex kit, which came with four different things of liquid latex in different colors. I'm going to start off right now with the flesh tone, because what I want to do is I want to go around the edges of the applique to make that to where it's going to be, you know, a little more level with my actual skin itself. So I'm going to take and I'm going to dip this art brush, or this craft brush, one of those little sponge crafty brushes, came in the kit, and I'm just going to dab that around the edges of the applique and kind of spread it out after I do, because I want to make it even to where it blends and it doesn't, it's not sticking up any or looking all crazy and fake on here. Now my hairline for my wig is going to hide some of the top of this one, so I'm not going to worry so much about the top there. But I am worried about the edges themselves. So I want to make sure I'm doing this.
You really are. Which explains all the stuff at school and why you're always disappearing?
Yes. I just learned how to do that, actually. Level 2.
I don't want to be liberal with this, because if you're not, it's not going to coat very well. So it's almost going to be like multiple layers that I'm doing here to create this. And I'm actually dabbing kind of hard on it, on the edges of the actual applique, just to make sure that it is blending and sticking together here.
Where's my dad? He isn't here yet.
Okay, so that's the first one.
Always travel with that stupid door. What's he seen you? What's someone seen you?
Yeah.
Drawing an iron dagger at your little school. Some things are just worth taking the risk. What is this? Did you do this to Cassie? What? No hug for your old man? Yes, unfortunate but necessary. Did you have a girl trapped in there? Yes. For centuries, my family has been keeping a vigil. A vigil to ensure that our work is pure of the magical. I'm the last remaining descendant of noble place. You wouldn't have even known that the lights of the Iron Dagger existed if I hadn't found you. But I'm still a knight. It is. Of course. All hail. Dad, how could you? She's my friend. You didn't seem too worried about your friends when you stirred up that trouble at the mall. Or plunged the dagger into the pumpkin. You're just lucky that I was there to give you some cover. I mean, it's pathetic. How long it... But you are such a good boy. Did everything you were told. You said no one was going to get hurt. You said they would just...
Okay, this one seems to be peeling up down here on the side of my face, down close to my mouth, so I'm patting that one down a little more and tucked a little bit of the liquid latex under the applique to kind of hold that down.
And they'll understand that this portal must be closed permanently. A separate world for freaks? I'm all for it. Nothing's going to stop us now.
Cromwell's will stop.
No. Not without that magic. And at midnight,
So that's where I want it to be. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and let that dry. And my next step is going to be, I'm going to start creating the under layers that I need with the liquid latex to be able to create scars. And I'm going to actually use some of the other colors that come in with this as well. There's a white, a black, and a red that all come in with this, and I'm going to be kind of mixing and blending with those as soon as this part dries, so that we can go ahead and start creating actual wound looks with the different colors, and blending the colors together until they, look like some kind of messy wound. And that will add the blood to really make it look seriously gross, or as best as we can. So we're going to pause here while this dries, and we go ahead and step on to the next step. Okay, so I've allowed that to dry a little bit, and in the meantime I have been going ahead and starting on the liquid latex blending for the wounds that I want to create. And what I'm doing is I put the black down first, and then I'm putting some of the red, which is really kind of a pinkish color actually, and I'm just kind of splattering that on top of it, because what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to take this liquid latex and I'm going to rip holes in it and kind of peel it like peeling flesh, and make it look, like real wounds. So, as it's drying, seeing where I need more to kind of add to the effect.
Seems to me this haunted house could use a little excitement.
Okay. I'm dabbing it on because I don't want to smear it in. I want to actually, I want a good amount on there so it will do what I want it to do. Because if there's not enough on there, it's not going to peel right. So I'm kind of layering it on top of itself. So there's actual latex there that I can rip and peel. And by the time I'm done ripping and peeling it, it's going to, have a little bit of some of the black and the red both showing in the actual, the look of it. For some reason, my camera unfocused a little bit, so it's not quite as clear as I wanted it to be. There we go. That's a little better. But now you can see I got that. I'm going to go ahead also and add more, now that the flesh tone has dried, around the appliques, so that they look a little more natural than what they're looking at the moment, because I'm just taking it right on the outer edge of the applique, really thick. That way it's going a little better as far as the coverage goes. And I'll continue to layer that around there. Now, Okay. Now, unfortunately, once again, we have to pause to let this dry. So this is probably going to take a little while. I'm going to grab my fan and kind of fan my face to help it along a little bit so that we can let it. But as you see, as the red is drying, it seems to be looking a little darker because of the black underneath. So it's looking a little more like actual scar tissue. And we're going to help that along with the makeup that we're going to be using then when we start doing the makeup portion. Okay, so right here we're going to pause and let this dry. And then next we will come back with the foundation. Okay, we're back, and while I was letting it dry, I was also doing some additional flesh tone onto the edges of all the scars I've created and all the little spots I've made here. I think I'm going to do some additional ones because I'm not real happy. There's not enough here. I totally missed the center of my face, and I want to create some more. Now, what I'm going to do for this, though, this time is rather than using those sponges, because really I'm not happy with how they did things, I'm going to take my fingertip and I'm going to dip it in the liquid latex and create additional areas for scars. Which is going to give it a nice thicker coverage actually than the sponges were, because the sponges were kind of not giving me enough on there. They didn't seem to be picking up as much. So just going to